creating the BrewedAt brand. It's cool.
And it helps because, like, again, beyond obvious, like, Gen Z is my primary focus. And crowds that are coming into this, that is peak in that demographic. And it's like, that's what I want.
Even if craft beer, even if Gen Z is not in the craft breweries right now, and these we talk about this incessantly. It's like the craft beer does not need Gen Z right now because those people, the people that were 22, 23 years old were never drinking craft beer to begin with, even 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. But in a couple of years, those people are never into craft beer. They don't even taste it. It's not interesting to them. All these craft breweries are going to die. So the fact that, like, you guys are addressing this problem before it even, like, becomes a true problem, it's like by the time Gen Z is in the craft beer age, you know, you guys are going to be the, you know, industry front runners for how to deal with these people. Welcome back to the BrewedAt podcast. I'm your host, Richie Tevlin, joined today by the BrewedAt crew.
What up?
And we want to thank our sponsor, Zilka. So Zilka, if you don't know by now, is a local malt company. $5 shipping. Hit up our show notes. Brad Adelson is our contact there, your contact there. But, you know, provide a local malt to you guys. It's a local company, so cheap, easy, high-quality malt. And Brad is a professional brewer. So anything.
Shout out to Brad.
Shout out Brad. He'll get you set up with all your needs. Thank you for Zilka. Well, boys, welcome back.
Hello.
Be back.
Yeah. I see you guys have some nice drinks with you guys.
So I the camera there.
Yeah, this is Space Cadet Brewing.
I haven't heard of that.
Tastes really good. I don't know whose it is, though.
Thank you. I got a crisp lime from New Trail. A tap dancer above us right now.
That's crazy. That's a first.
Liam, can you hear that out there? What'd you say? No.
It stopped. Okay.
All right.
I think there might be a stray deer upstairs running around.
It's crazy. But yeah, so we just came in here, wanted to catch up. You know, we've all been very active and, you know, got a lot going on. And our guest didn't show up today. So so here we are.
It happens.
But I know you guys just had an event at Workhorse.
Yep.
You guys haven't been on since you did the event at the Boozy Mutt, right?
No.
Yeah.
I think I was looking back. We were on, I think, at episode 22, which we are now at like episode 48.
We're just rolling through them at this point. I mean, if you haven't noticed, you know, we're doing an episode every week now, and it's been kind of crazy all year, but you know, it's been fun. We're growing very quickly, and it's like we're getting a lot better guests, and you know, podcast wise, everything's very exciting. I mean, everything for BrewedAt and Space is very exciting, but like the podcast itself is like starting to pick up a lot of steam, which is very fun.
Yeah, we've had some really crazy guests. Like just getting the governor on
that was crazy. That's the one your mom texted you about. She's like, "Wow, I guess it is real."
You're not an embarrassment anymore.
Honestly, no. That is the one that's like everybody that you don't hear from is like, "Wow, good job, guys! You really did it." It's like, we've been working at this for a minute, but
it's funny. I think, and honestly, I think it was one of our not as good podcasts. But it's just like the fact that you're talking to the governor. Like, it's not like what we were talking about is going to change anything, but it's cool to see the governor is like, whether he's taking what you say to heart or not, like you are literally talking to the people that not make the laws, but like, you know, the people that are deciding how society operates. Essentially, it's like, well, we decide, you know, there's a democracy, but like really like these are, you know, people that make the rules. Like and you're getting to talk to them about like, you know, your issues, your problems, and whether he's hearing you or not, like you are, or we're talking to him about our issues. So it's fun. It's I know he's been a proponent of craft beer, but it's cool to be not just a spokesman for the BrewedAt podcast, but you're speaking on behalf of the brewing industry.
Yep.
So that was very fun. I don't know. I'm hoping to do more stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like a milestone for sure.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of miles, like Tom Peters
Yes,
too. Like
that was like
what an episode. Tom comes in with a full baguette, just like he's like, he means business.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if we've talked about this on the pod or not, but me and Richie went to Monk's, I guess like 2 days beforehand, and they messaged us saying like, do you have glassware? It's like, well, we've ran into this issue before. No, we do not have glassware appropriate for a guest like Tom Peters. So he brought in his own glassware for us and everything. And that was the craziest personalized tasting you could have ever asked for.
Now, people would spend a lot of money to do that, and just the fact that we got to do it for free, and then the fact that we're just like putting it out in the ether for like all of eternity, that it's now just on the internet. It's fun.
And it was honestly just fascinating. Like I've been told the story of the one ceiling of that brewery in Belgium that had to be like the roof had to come off, but they had to keep the one roof above the beer like the same and build all around it to keep the flavor, because it ferments from the air, right?
Yeah. It's like bacteria or yeast from the air, like come down and like inoculate it, but it's like. If stuff is in the ceiling, then like it's like continuously, it's like a giant petri dish just growing upon each other.
Insane.
Yeah, So I talked to another brewer the other day, and they're like, I was talking to them about coming on here, and they're like, we're going to come on. I'm like, I know you guys like probably run out of people. It's like every single week you guys have something new, but it's like the more people we have on, the more potential guests we have. It's like every single like we have Tom on, there's instantly like 3 or 4 people that like we didn't have a connection to before. That we do now, and it's it seems like our list of potential guests is about 3 times longer than the people we've had on, which is keeps getting bigger and bigger.
That's cool.
We have to keep going faster.
People are excited to reference their friends and I feel like other people in the industry to get them on here. It's really cool.
No, it's good, and I think it's a great platform. And like I know this is like patting ourselves in the back, but like we've created like this consistent platform that people can come on and sell their story, tell themselves like. Create the personalities beyond craft beer, which is fun.
Yeah, and I have to say also, Tom Peters, someone that has so much experience in the beer industry, could have been somewhat like a dick, but he was so kind, so like welcoming, and I feel like patient with like everything. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think the people that don't have patience and don't treat people right, like you might like short-term gains, but like he's in this for the long run.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, very exciting. And I think like people are like starting to like break news. Like we just had a brewer the other day reach out to us, large brewer, wins tons of awards, say they wanted to announce something on the podcast and wanted to come on, which is exciting.
Yeah, keep that coming. That's super cool for everybody. I think it's a good way to put that out there too.
Yeah. So for BrewedAt, your event. So we haven't talked about the Boozy Mud event and the Workhorse event. So you guys are doing N64 or Nintendo games.
Nintendo Switch.
Cool.
It's been, and we'll get into a little bit of like the actual like operations, because I think it's cool. I think it's really fascinating to really just watch us grow from such a beginning stage to where we're going and to what's next. But these sort of like video game tournaments have been awesome.
I mean, real trash, and like you're getting over 100 people to come sign up for them.
Yeah, it's been
and they're starting to happen. Like the Boozy Mutt one was like a month and a half, 2 months ago. You just did one at the Workhorse. You have another one next weekend at the Boozy Mutt. So
and we have another one in the beginning of June at Well Crafted in Lansdale.
Can you show off the trophy?
Yeah. So this is freaking nutty. So
yeah,
we're working with. I'm not going to give away our contact because they're awesome. But a guy on Etsy that we connected with, he's making us like custom trophies now for our events. And I mean, to see something like this, it's just kind of crazy. I don't know. Like,
it's really cool.
It's like such a piece, and it's like actually an accomplishment if you win. Like, it's better than a cash
that's
prize.
not a participation trophy.
No.
Yeah, our last event at Workhorse, I overheard the guy that won. Oh no, I overheard 2 girls talking. They were at the event, and they were like, "Oh, what does the winner get?" And she was like, $150 and the trophy. And she's like, "I would just want the trophy." I'm like, "That's awesome."
You're like bet.
Yeah, bet. We'll keep the 150. No, no. I mean, clearly it's a good motivator, and having a custom Smash one was like so cool for us too.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like you guys, as not a craft brewery, are now like adding to the craft beer community. It's like you're doing a legitimate business operation that's like creating essentially like a small festival or like an event in a brewery. I mean, just giving them money.
Yep.
Everybody wins. It's like the bougie. I didn't go to the Workhorse one. The bougie malt one was very exciting. Do you guys have DJ at the Workhorse one?
Yeah, we had this DJ, and I think that just kind of like livens up people too. Everyone's just there to have a good time. I feel like, there's definitely some competitive energy, especially near the end, but
that's good though. It's exciting. It's 100%. Not just like you're going there and doing a tasting. It's like, it's an event.
Definitely. We had someone bring a sign to like cheer on their friend.
Crazy. Everybody's
like the pit stop. It was like John's pit stop, and it was like all of his buddies, and people freak out when their buddy just snags first place, and it's been a lot of fun to see.
That's good.
And it's already cool because I guess we're at like 3-4 events for this specific sect of events we're doing.
Yeah.
And we already see people kind of following like from spot to spot, kind of following us as we're going through them.
No, I mean, everything that you guys have been saying for the last like year and a half, 2 years since we kind of like started the podcast, like these events, the Crafted in Philly, the Passport that you guys just did with the Boozy Mutt and all the other bars, like all those were like wildly successful. And it seems like, sometimes you come on and like you tell people like this is what's going to happen, but then like you actually go out and do it, and it's like it was successful. It's like it's got to be a good feeling.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. It's nice to see them go through the way they do, and actually like now build upon that, like to just kind of what's next. I mean, I see so much avenue for these types of events.
And creating the BrewedAt brand, it's cool.
And it helps because, like, again, beyond obvious, like Gen Z is my primary focus, and crowds that are coming into this, that is peak in that demographic. And it's like, that's what I want.
Even if craft beer, even if Gen Z is not in the craft breweries right now, and these we talk about this incessantly. It's like the craft beer does not need Gen Z right now, because those people, the people that were 22, 23 years old were never drinking craft beer to begin with, even 10 years ago. But in a couple of years, those people are never into craft beer. They don't even taste it. It's not interesting to them. All these craft brewers are going to die. So the fact that like you guys are addressing this problem before it even like becomes a true problem, it's like by the time Gen Z is in the craft beer age, you guys are going to be the industry front runners for how to deal with these people. And other people hit me up on LinkedIn or other things all the time, like, let me help you out with marketing for Gen Z. I'm like, I'm watching what you're doing, and you're just saying Gen Z, but you're doing the same craft beer marketing that everybody else is doing. Like, it seems like BrewedAt's doing something different.
Yeah, I do also feel like breweries themselves can kind of become where you want them to be if you want them to be like a tournament thing, or obviously like people do a ton of like trivia and Quizzo. Breweries are just different than restaurants in that way. I think there's other ideas that we throw around all the time of events where people can gather and play a game or watch a movie or something. You know what I mean? So
it's just adaptable.
We're just brainstorming a ton and just trying to figure out like cool ways to get people in the brewery that might not be into beer initially, but here we are playing Mario Kart at a brewery, and the beer's pretty good. Yeah, and it's a pretty cool vibe in here. Yeah, maybe I'll come back next time.
Yep.
So that's the idea. We also do like Mario Kart and Smash, so it is really fun for us just to watch people play. Yeah.
It's also what you guys are building is sustainable. It's like if you guys are getting paid to do this, it doesn't, for somebody that's like doesn't own a brewery, to be doing this to promote general craft beer doesn't make sense. But you're doing it in a way that like you're growing the BrewedAt brand as well, and the stronger the BrewedAt brand is, the stronger craft beer sales across the industry are going to be. It's like it feels long term. It doesn't feel like a short term, like just let's get people in here.
Yeah, let's just get a buck. No, it's never been about just like the quick dollar.
Because like you guys could just throw N64 to them, but like the Pitch a Friend has done a great job at this, where it's like it was a sustainable event, but then they created this business model around it, and now it just blows up, and everybody's able to succeed off it. But because Pitch a Friend they're able to help themselves. It didn't grow to a point where then they can't handle it, because like they're benefiting from it as well. So everybody wins.
Yeah, and that's the next phase of things. Like we're, I guess, kind of entering a growth phase in that standpoint with events and adding new team members and kind of like seeing how we fully operate as it like expansion goes. And
yeah, it was interesting. Also, we've had other influencers on. Nobody likes the word influencers. We've had other influencers on, but having the enterprise sports guys on, it's different than what BrewedAt is. But what they're doing is like it's not. They're not just like an individual influencer that's trying to like do their individual brand. It's like they're also taking like this business approach to it.
Yeah.
And it was interesting to see how they're doing it and kind of like the angles that they're taking. Like they were saying stuff to us about like man in the street, all these other things. Like I think that those are things that we can take advantage of, or also just them. But the conversation we had, like people know who they are individually, so they knew who Enterprise Sports is, but like. They know who Enterprise Sports is, but they might know Dan and Doug are more than they know Enterprise Sports. So I think like putting a face in front of the brand is just so important.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sweet. Cool. All right. I want to talk about my beer now.
Yeah.
yeah, dude. It's been, so where are you at? You're at your number 4, right? Currently out in stores.
No, this is 5.
This is 5.
And 6 is my first double-sized batch. So that'll be coming out before this episode probably comes out.
Okay.
So I'm doing, these are 30 barrel batches. The next one's 60 barrels.
Ooh.
I mean, that's a decent amount of beer. I mean, Space Good is only me right now. And next year I'll be on pace to do like maybe 500 barrels, which is like pretty significant.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I don't want to like talk about what other breweries in the area are doing, but like there's places like brick and mortar places that have been around for like 5 to 10 years that are not making that much beer, and I'm just doing this myself. I'm selling that much, so it's fun. But also it's cool when I'm going out to talk to people. Mm-hmm. I'm like pitching to them, then they're like, "I know who you are." Part of this is like I do want to help craft beer, but it is fun to like get my own face out there and sell my own brand. Yeah. But this beer itself, so this is my first hazy IPA. This is Helmet Head. So on the label, he's like sitting down in like a salon with like basically a hair dryer for old ladies, but it kind of looks like a helmet. Just kind of funny. But it has cashmere and Sabro in it. So cashmere is like a super floral, perfumey hop. Sabro is a little bit fruitier version of that, but it's still like a very floral, perfumey hop.
Super juicy, yeah.
And I think that like with this isn't super hazy, but it's the first hazy. You're kind of just dipping my toe into it. Mm-hmm. But it's not like citrusy, fruity. It's like a floral, like softer kind of. It's I don't know, aromatic. I guess it's not. It's not so much like just straight. It's not orange juice.
Yeah. No.
And I think that cashmere and Sabro go really well together. If I brew cashmere and Citra, the Citra would just overtake the cashmere. But cashmere and Sabro, I think, play well together.
How do you, like, within your process, obviously you've been brewing for as long as I've been born, probably. No, you're not that old.
What? No.
I'm kidding. You've been brewing for a long time. Like, why do you decide what hops in specifically maybe this batch is your first, like, hazy?
I think, one, I know what they taste like. I've done it before. Yeah. But you're picking things that like complement each other. Like I said, Citra, Mosaic, Crush are super fruity hops, citrusy hops. But these are almost like floral hops. So it's like, I think any combination of hops tastes good together, but it's like they all kind of do different things. But because I always want to do something different. It's like this is, if I were just, I've made a beer with Citra in it before. Like if I just made another hazy IPA with Citra and Mosaic, it's just like, what is this? Yeah. The whole point of the brand is to kind of do different things. So the next brand, this podcast will be out by then, will be a New Zealand West Coast IPA. So this beer was a West Coast IPA, is Teacher's Pest. And then this was Flight School, a New Zealand Pilsner. So the West Coast IPA was my second beer, and the Pilsner was my third beer. So then the sixth beer is a combination of these. So it has Motueka and Nielsenshultz, which is the same hops that are in the Pilsner, but it's in the base beer that is the West Coast IPA. But because I'm doing a double-sized batch, like with the larger batch sizes, you get better efficiency. So like if I'm selling my beer at the same price, then I'm either getting more money from that, or I have more room to play with because it costs less money to make the same amount of beer.
Yeah.
So with the larger size batches, I can put more hops into it. I can put more ABV. So this was 6.2%. The what's it called? It's called Jump School. It's a 6.5%. So bump up the ABV by 0.3. So that's going to make a difference. It'll make it a little sweeter. So it'll be like bring out the citrus notes a little bit. And then I use the hops from this. So it's going to be like almost like white wine. It's a little bit sour, tart, a little bit grassy. So it's as much as like I'm not reinventing the wheel, but like you're seeing like how do I make recipes? I know these words, so let's just combine them. I like this aspect of this beer, that aspect of that beer. What's it like together? And then like from there, then I can adjust it. Maybe I take one hop out and change it. Maybe I take that base beer and then just that's combine these with bumped up ABV, and then I try with a different hop and just kind of like seeing what things go from there. But
yeah. Must be super exciting for you. You're just like in the lab, just like, well, I kind of like this, I kind of like that. Like, see what I can do here.
Yeah, I have a bunch of really good beers coming out. This one was a lager. I have another lager in the pipeline, which will be fun. I have a West Coast Pilsner coming out, hopefully at the end of the summer. So,
how many beers do you have lined up right now? Like,
I have 3 beers. I've paid. So the one beer just got brewed this week. That's a beer that's coming out at the end of May, first week of June. I put a down payment on the next beer that's coming out like end of July, and then I'm wrapping up recipe development on the one after that.
Cool. What is a West Coast Pilsner?
Do you not listen to the podcast? We had this whole conversation with Michael Rosa. So. It's a made-up style, I guess. No, it's a style that everybody's using. It's like we
talked about it before we came in, I think.
Yeah, it's like nobody knows this is a dry hop pilsner, but it's like the hoppy pilsner. Like a pilsner is just a hoppy lager, but what's like a dry hop lager? So like IPL is what they used to call it. Then they call it a dry hop lager, dry hop pilsner, Italian pilsner. There's like all these different terms, and it's just like what marketing term like will fit the best. But like West Coast IPAs are super hot right now, so now some of like the more hype brewers are starting to use the term West Coast Pilsner to describe like hop forward pilsners. And then the joke with Mike was like we ask him what it is, and he's just like "fuck you." Like
right.
After we had the conversation on the hallway, that was just like, what is it? He's just like, well, it's a hoppier version of those, but it's like kind of the same guideline. But yeah. People think of the California coast, and they're like, oh, maybe I'll try that. Yeah, but like I think West Coast IPA. So like New Zealand West Coast IPA is the next one. Like West Coast IPA is bright. Like in my mind, everyone's different. Like Mike had a very specific idea of what an East Coast IPA was, or an East Coast hazy IPA versus like a New England IPA. In my mind, like a West Coast IPA is a bright IPA with some assertive bitterness and fruity, but like also some like dank and grassy characters. And where East Coast is like just straight citrus flavor, not an overly bitter. Where my West Coast IPA, has some Vienna malt in it, but it's bright, and it does have some bitterness to balance out. Like it's a balanced beer. It's not just fruity. So like that's why I call it like a New Zealand West Coast IPA, to like say that it's like that, as opposed to like New Zealand hazy IPA, New Zealand like East Coast IPA. Because I want people to know that there is some bitterness and a little bit of bite to it.
Cool.
But like the whole styles are just like beer's a spectrum. Like it's not like the different things, like it's just like changing different things. Then the style is just there to guide the customer on what he or she should expect to drink or taste when they drink it. So it's like the whole West Coast Pilsner is intriguing because like you kind of have an idea about what it means. The IPL or like the Italian Pilsner, like it's like a little bit like, all right, well, you have to tell me what that is. But the West Coast IPA, I think, is like a little more directive. Like you can expect this.
Yep.
So,
is there a reason for keeping the ABV sub 7%, like any of those like high like 8%ers, or?
It's like a math equation. It's like I'm giving the customer all the value that I can give them at a reasonable price beer. You know, like if I want to put the ABV higher, then I have to drop that dry hops.
Gotcha.
Or like not use specialty malt. You know, it's like you want to use different things, but also, I mean, I think going over 7%, you can't drink more than like 2 or 3, or I can't drink more than like 2 or 3 7% IPAs. But like a 6 to 7% IPA, I think that's the perfect range of where an IPA should be. I like session IPAs, and I like. Yes, it's a math equation. Like that's how much value I can give the customer. But that's where I want my IPAs anyway. I hit double IPA, I might do more than that. But you know, this is like I'm making the beers. I'm making the beers I want to drink. But it's like my brand. This is my brand. You know, like I want like people to think of Space Cadet as very drinkable, sessionable IPAs, and that's, you know, kind of just all fit.
What about the logos and the artwork too?
Yeah, I mean, it's all got a story. So, like, the general story right now is that he's training to go to space, or not actually going to space because he's a space cadet. So it's like this was the classroom training. So it's like based off The Simpsons, you know, Bart. So, and then the third one was flight school. So he's not actually on a plane. He's like on a roller coaster. So, like, you know, in all these situations, you could imagine that he's just like, you know, in his mind, he's training to go to space. It's almost like Katy Perry. But, like, he's, like, not actually going. It's like he's not actually a real astronaut. So it's like that story will kind of, like, unfold as he's going.
That's such a unique... Like, has anybody done that? Have you seen that done?
No, and people are holding on to the cans. People send me pictures.
That's so cool.
Of what they're doing. But, like, nobody's posting. I need people to share that they're actually holding on. Like, people are holding on to them. So the idea is that, like, you know, people start to get a collection, and you drink, you know, if you get a 4-pack, you hold on to one, whether you drink it or not, so you can kind of, like, line them up. Like, because when you do put them all together, like, it does kind of, I mean, it all goes together, so.
Do you have an end to the story?
No.
No?
It's a never-ending story. I'm not going to go out of business. But, yeah, it's fun. The sales have been really good. Like I said, I'm doubling my batch size. It's been, like, 8 months, so... things are going great right now.
This episode of the BrewedAt podcast is brought to you by Zilka & Co., your trusted regional brewing supply partner. Family owned for over 100 years of business, Zilka delivers world-class products at competitive prices with flat $5 delivery fee. No pallet or liftgate charges, thanks to their own fleet of regularly maintained trucks. With locations in Allentown and Hunker and a technical brewer on staff, they provide the expertise and service your brewery deserves. Reach out to Brad Adelson in the show notes and let him know BrewedAt sent you.
Yeah, dude, that's super cool. How, like, you're running around right now too, like making contacts and doing the classic grind right now as well a little bit. Like, yes and no, because like your partner with Penn is like super awesome and supporting it, but like what's that like, just going out, meeting all these people and selling?
It's fun, and it's you know, sometimes you go in and you start pitching, and like I said, some people are like, I know who you are. That's obviously an easy sale, but other times you have to like explain everything, and like, because my brand is not just like the same thing, in some ways it's easier because I'm differentiating myself, so it's not just like they don't just gloss over, like they have to like, all right, what is different about it, and I have to explain it to them. Some people that's a little bit confusing, but I like logistically, I've made it very easy for people, like from the restaurant and bar side, to handle it. So I think it's different, but some people kind of don't want to deal with it. Some people do. I haven't had anybody just flat out be like, no, this sucks. You know, like I don't think they tell that to me anyway. Yeah. But it's been fun. It's just kind of like, because I was doing, I mean, it has been selling really well. So like the first initial launch, I was going out and I was selling out to a lot of outside accounts. And then it was mostly just reorders after that. It was mostly just like they were able to sell through it, and then they reordered it. And there was a little bit of shifting, like, you know, this was not the right space, but this space has been asking for it, and like I know I can sell it. So like shifting some volume from different places. But in the last month, it's really because I'm doubling up. Like I need to have twice as many accounts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go from 130 accounts to like 250. And this is for the first time in like 8 months. It's been like a full out like sprint, go out, get new accounts, hit up like 3 new places a day, DMing people, texting people, getting people's emails, hitting them up, just trying to find like, it's been fun though, because as much as, I feel like I'm super plugged into the craft beer and like bar scene. Mm-hmm. There's like all these places that are like very successful bars that like I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
That are in Philadelphia or like in these like, out in Reading. And it's like, I had no idea this place existed. And it is like the most exciting bar. Like they crush, they do like, tons and tons of kegs every single week. And it's, I think there's just so many locals all over the place. Philadelphia's just a great beer city because it's like there are just so many little hidden gems all over the place.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
It's been fun though. Also, it's like now that I have all these places, it's like a good excuse to like go out and it's just like kind of drag me out. You get to go eat at these places, drink at these places.
Yeah,
check them out.
Check them out. Yeah,
must be so satisfying to get that reorder.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice to with the wholesaler, it's like one extra layer of like where, obviously they tell me where the beers are going, but once the beer hits the retailer, well, you can get IRI data about like how fast the beer is selling, but I'm not big enough to get like consistent data off that or like to be reading into it too much.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of me having to talk to bar managers themselves or talking to the bartenders themselves or going out and I've seen how quickly they sell through cases or like, some places they'll go through like, 2 or 3 kegs in like 3 days. And it's like, holy shit, there's a lot of beer very quickly. But other places, like people are sitting on them and it's just like, whether it's, they're not presented correctly or, they're just not put on, they're not advertised. Like they're on sale, but then like you go into the bar and it's like, it's not even on the board for people to buy it. Mm-hmm. So like little things like that. But it's been fun kind of seeing, what's selling, what's not. Like you go into a beer store. Luckily, a lot of the beer, like bottle shop owners specifically, and like beer distributors, they like the brand that is like kind of unique, and they like that it's like a little bit different. Maybe like, and because these beer stores have a lot of employees, like normally like 1 or 2 people like of their employees have at least heard of the podcast.
Yeah.
So it is nice to kind of get like a little bit of like special treatment of like, they're like, oh, Spaces Cadet is finally here. And, you get like, oh, we'll put you in this fridge of like next to these like cool brands. It's like, oh, you walk in and like, well, and they'll ask me like, well, where do you want the beer? And it's like, well, I want to be like, you can be in this fridge next to like Heady Topper and Hill Farmstead.
No way.
And it's just like, yes, like obviously, like I want to be in that, like as much as, I'm not as known. It's like they're putting me there. So then like when a customer walks up, they then associate me with those other brands and have already like kind of carved their way and kind of like, got a reputation. And so for me, that's where I want to live. It's like, even if it's not like the highest volume places, like I want to be like a quality brand. So like I want to be next to the best.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
But it's fun to like actually talk to them because it's like, they do, and a lot of places that I go into and like, it's just me. So like, I feel like I do need to like kind of keep up with these people, but they do appreciate that I'm going in, I'm checking in, I'm like making sure that my stuff's getting sold. So
heck yeah,
it's fun.
That's cool. Yes. And you're making all these connections. Yeah. You'll probably bring somebody on the podcast at some point.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Like the podcast helps me. And then it's like, I'm ideally driving more people to the podcast. It's good.
Yeah.
Mutual.
Yeah. And we can't talk about this yet, but there's a really exciting thing kind of in the works that I'm hoping goes through that will really just elevate the podcast to a whole different level in a really creative way. So I'll let that live there and that will be said, but
nice. Yeah. I'm excited. I feel like, finally it's like, clips are starting to hit the explore page. There's like random people that are starting to get to see it. Yep. It's like, we kind of built this machine that's just like, all right, we know that this is a quality product. And we just know that we have to be consistent. We have great guests on, kind of let them shine. It's not about us as much as every podcast shining on us. Right now it's like, letting the guests like kind of come in and like let them show who they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of these clips right now have been crazy successful.
Yeah, it's been fun.
The clip with Marnie just hit over 105,000 views on social.
Crazy.
With some crazy comments. It's
Yeah.
really, really entertaining.
It is.
Should I read some or no? What if we think?
Yeah, I mean, and some people are just unhinged. I mean, it's the internet. It's like once you get outside of like your immediate, like there are sometimes like we'll post some stuff and like people will just like make comments at each other and it's kind of fun. But like getting on to like random internet people, trolls, it's like, and then they start commenting. It's just like, who are these people? It's just crazy.
It's
like
best,
paragraphs. Yeah, it's
best when you get the niche group to one comment, and then there was one comment that came in, and the first time I saw it, it was talking about like everybody knows this information about the German Society of Philadelphia.
yeah.
I didn't know this information about the German Society of Philadelphia. And a lot of the internet also did not know that. And it sparked like such conversation.
It's always, I know that like, commenting and like replying to comments like always kind of feeds the algorithm. And I'm always tempted. I don't know if I want to get in an internet troll fight with some of these people. I think it would be fun. But I think that like when you get in a gutter fight like that, it's like, it's just never fun in the long term.
There's so much
winning
more to lose than there is to gain.
I know, but I'm so tempted sometimes. It's like just ready to go. Just a couple beers, sit down after the podcast. Have like,
Who's up next?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude, you have to. You gotta make a new account, like
What?
beer lover 123, and then just like go in on people.
Yeah.
It's like I wonder who this is.
Yeah, maybe I'll create like I've already kind of created a Space Cadet alter ego, but maybe I'll just like lean into that and just like Space Cadet will be my internet troll. Pitbull that would just attack people. That wasn't me.
You could do that. You could maybe not attack people, but you could lean into like Space Cadet commenting on like different posts or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. That could work.
Yeah.
Lots of ideas.
But I mean, it is cool to see people like defend us as well. Like when they're like, that's not what they were saying. Like, how could you even like interpret it that way? I'm like,
let's go.
thank you, random guy. I appreciate it.
We're thinking it, but we're not going to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. And we still like are on TikTok and like everything. It's like, I'm 31 right now. It's like I've never used YouTube Shorts or TikToks, and like I'm just now starting to like put stuff from Space Cadet on TikTok, and it's like it's Gen Z. Like it's a whole nother. Yeah, like Instagram is great for us, but long term, like I like the fact that we're already on TikTok and like we're already posting stuff. Like we're kind of building. I mean, TikTok is not big for us right now, but in the long term, like I think that's gonna be great for us.
Yeah, and there's clips that definitely pop on TikTok. The biggest difference I would say is, and kind of like where Instagram shines, is like the collaboration between everybody is really strong.
Yeah.
They do a very good job, and it's super like promoting in essence on Instagram. With TikTok, it's very siloed.
But it's like that's just the way the younger generation is using TikTok. So I'm talking to a UCLA business club right now. It's like, it's like they get to kind of use me as like practice, but it's like them kind of helping me like with my Google SEO and like kind of like get more engagement on social media. And it's like little things, but like really the main thing that they're saying is just like you need to start putting stuff on TikTok. And like, yeah, I'm trying, but like there's not much. But it's like, yeah, but like everyone my age is on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing as like, someone that's 10, 15 years older than us telling us like, yeah, I don't know about Instagram. Like Facebook is still kind of where it's at, Like I'm kind of getting that feeling. Like I just don't want to be. I have this fear of like being on the old social media. Like maybe I'm still making great content on that, but it's like it doesn't matter. Nobody's on this.
Yeah, and it's honestly like just as a business owner, it's a good mindset to be in because it's not the only time this is going to happen. Whatever's next, like just the early adapt or just be accepting to adapting it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen again. And honestly, with like, who kind of knows where the generational trends, like how quick they're going to move, but the world's moving really quick right now, and that's not going to stop specifically with AI and those trends.
There was an article, I think I don't know if it was an Inquirer, Philly Mag or something about influencer marketing.
Yeah.
Like brands kind of need them. Mm-hmm. And it's like, but like it's become like, it used to be like the Wild West where now it's like kind of settled down where it's like the prices aren't like crazy. But now it's like, if you didn't figure this out before and you're still putting out like shit stuff, it's like you kind of left in the dust. Yeah. But a lot of brands now, like we just had Not Pizza on, and it's like people. You need to be in front of your brand. Like we talk about all the time. Like Dave from Beer Mill is like so good at this.
He really
Fantastic.
But, it's like
Made his own account. That's Beer Mill Dave, and he had another
some of the other
person.
boys have made it too, and it's like
Really smart move.
yeah. I'm trying to lean more into that with space because I'm not soon. It's like I think that's just the future. It's like you need your own you need your influencers within your own business now. It's like you can pay these influencers, or you could just like create your own influencer as part of your business, and then you don't need to pay them, because they're already part of your business, and then you kind of build your own brand stronger because you're creating way more content like that.
100%. And like, not a crazy call out, but I watch a lot of wrestling.
Yeah.
And WWE does this fantastic with with their main page. Like, it's everything, but every wrestler that they have has millions of followers, and they're posting constant content and collaborations. And like, they just rule the social media sphere.
And and they're probably not even doing it. It's probably like the WWE
100%.
is in control of their accounts and is posting everything. It's just like we're in charge of everything.
Yeah, and a lot of the major leagues, I think, do that too. Like, just NFL, NBA, like
NBA. I mean, the NBA blew up like 10 years. I mean, obviously it's been huge, but like they were early adapters to social media and posting clips and allowing House of Highlights and these other people to post it. And the MLB fought really hard. And MLB is always behind the curve on everything, but it's like behind the fastball and everything. But it's like they just now gotten into like showing like the sliders and the pitches like on the reels, and like the home runs and letting people pimp the home runs and everything. And it's like they're finally now starting to catch up, and it's like you have to kind of play ball. It's like it's just part of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool to see some of the local brands do that. Again, like I think Beer Mill does a great job.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, so one more question I have. The Michelin Guide is coming. Just got announced. It's coming to Philly. I think Monk's is one thing. What other beer bars or beer-focused restaurants do you think have a shot? I mean, I think Monk's is like, probably top of the list. Like, they probably deserve something, whether it's I don't know how the Michelin Guy works, if they have like a legacy thing or if they just like straight up earn it like that. But are there other like beer heavy places that you can think of? Like, would they do breweries? I mean, like Michelin it used to be just like fancy French restaurants got Michelin stars.
Yeah.
But now there's like, taco stands on the side of the highway that get it. It's like they're way more open to like different kinds of things. But like, is there anything else besides Monk's? Do you think there's any chance to get a Michelin?
And does it also have to include their own menu? Because I mean, the first thing that comes to my head is like probably Human Robot.
Yeah, Human Robot. I think it's not so Michelin star, and then there's also a Michelin star like if you like I know it's not the right word for it, but it's like if you're like a green restaurant, if you use like sustainable things, that's like an extra star that you get. So a lot of Michelin stars are like. They look like 2 stars, but it's like you have a Michelin star, and then you're like consider like a sustainable restaurant. And like breweries are, or at least they used to be, like they used to like advertise that. So I'm like wondering, like, is there a brewery that might pop? Like I don't know, but yeah, that's
like, is there a more like beer or wine focused award that they give out?
No,
or is it
but
just food?
It's food, but it's like
Really interesting, actually.
But there might be like the Moody Tongue in New York is a Michelin 2-star restaurant, but it's a brewery.
Okay.
But it was a high-end chef that started this brewery. And I think the one in New York is a sushi restaurant in like West Village or something. But the one in Chicago, I think, is the first one. It's a Michelin 2-star restaurant. But that's the only Michelin brewery. But I don't know if there's like a brew pub or like that has great food programs, or like if they like add the drink program onto that.
I mean, Meetinghouse already won an award for their salad. It got like best salad in America. Their beer's excellent. And it's a really cool location. The food's really good too.
I saw Middle Child.
Should be up there.
Middle Child
makes sense.
They make.
Yeah, I can see.
They don't sell a lot of beer though. I mean, they do have beer there, but I know that they don't sell a lot of volume beer. But they have a decent selection. But I don't know. I'm sure there's going to be somebody that is like.
Yeah,
Khyber has a great beer selection, but I don't know if they have great food too. But I don't know if it's the upscale piece to it.
You know, what they'd be looking for.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they wouldn't do breweries and wineries, because it's like the whole idea of the Michelin stars was to help people on their journeys through Europe to like, hey, stop here, stop there.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't they make a star for a winery, for a brewery, especially nowadays when they're just like so integral to cities and towns?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But I think Monks is a real legitimate shot. They're at least definitely going to get looked at. I mean,
Yeah,
there's like so much hype and
History and everything.
Well, get in now. Then it's gonna get swamped if they get it.
How much do you think that would change it? Like as well.
Even when the Inquirer like puts on like their top list, like it's like these places get slammed for at least a month.
Really?
It's like 1 to 2 months at least.
Wow.
Because I don't remember, like with Meetinghouse, we used to go all the time with Keeley, and when they got that salad, that it was the best salad in America or whatever, they got like
best
crushed.
salad, best Guinness.
Yeah, and it is a good salad. It is a very good Guinness, but it did get crushed. But I think now it's kind of like leveled out a little bit. People kind of chase the hype. I feel like Cafe Roasters up in Kensington. Have you been there yet?
I've not been there. There's the Vietnamese coffee spot up in Kensington.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's gonna get like it's gonna be tough to get in there right now for the next like 2 months.
Why? What did they won something?
They have just been getting so much press, and M. Night Shyamalan stopped by and said it was like a 10 out of 10 coffee, like one of the best he's ever had. He like, bought the whole family, and I'm like, okay, like this place now has like a ton of hype.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough to get in there, but go for them. I mean, they're out.
Yeah, so. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are at Tula's Garden.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. It was like the first time that Taylor Swift has been seen in like 2 years in public, and that's in Philly.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I'm sure that they got a ton of attention just because.
Oh yeah.
Other famous people were there.
Yeah, Jack Antonoff had a wedding in LBI, and with Margaret Qualley. And that restaurant, I used to go with my family when I was younger, and the photos of the place during the wedding were insane. The whole street was blocked. It was like people were essentially falling in the water. There was like not enough
Jack Antonoff?
He's like the producer for like a ton of musicians, like Taylor Swift.
Oh, I remember they were all there. I don't know who that guy is, but I remember there was something at the beach, and like all these like super A-listers were just like in Lower Beach Town.
Yeah.
Why are all these people here?
Yeah, it's crazy. But I'm sure that place probably like now is on the map for so many people globally.
Also, shout out Liam. Liam was there producing the Michelin announcement today with the governor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was there. That's what he did today.
Oh, that's awesome.
You didn't even tell us that.
Yeah, what the heck, Liam?
He's doing exciting stuff.
You're way more interesting than us, Liam. You should get in here.
No, Liam, also another shout out, was filming podcast P for Paul George the other day.
Yeah, Wallow and what's his name? Dealey.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's so great.
Second best podcast.
You don't leave us, dude.
Yeah, but lots of exciting stuff to happen. I think we just kind of jumped on here because guest canceled last minute, but we have a lot of exciting stuff going on, and I think this is almost like premature for us announcing everything, but we still have a lot of stuff going on. But
Crafted in Philly, we didn't even mention that yet.
Yeah.
30 breweries, 3 months, $50.
Best deal in the city.
Yeah, it's the best deal in Philly beer, I like to say.
It is crazy. It is actually like just a crazy deal.
Got new merch, BrewedAt merch.
New BrewedAt merch.
Comfort
Gotta
colors.
plug that.
High quality.
Find these at our events, and pretty much any time we do a pop-up or anything, we'll have the merch with us. We're going to do limited merch runs, so
Yeah.
keep it fresh.
Like we were saying before, like BrewedAt is, it's been a brand, but it's like becoming stronger and stronger in craft beer. The longer you're there, you're front and center. You're giving people business. It's like the BrewedAt brand has a lot of value. So
Yeah, we need a some BrewedAt podcast merch too. It'd be cool to hand people that when they come in and they can wear it around their brewery, and people be like, "What is that?" It's like, "Oh, I went on."
Yeah, I mean,
podcast.
it's fun. Like the podcast is getting to a point where it's like everyone's coming here and like they feel like they need to give us stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like we're not giving. It's almost like I feel bad. Like we're not giving them. Like I feel like I should give you a T-shirt. And it's like all my shirts now are just like guests are giving us T-shirts, hats, koozies, beer. It's like I have way too much beer. I have way too many T-shirts. It's like insane.
But we're not complaining. Please bring more.
Yeah, so I'm not complaining. I'll wear it on the podcast. But when I go out, I'm just a walking billboard for space here right now. But yeah, that's all I got.
Sick. I mean,
guess that's all we got as well.
Yeah.
Look out on the BrewedAt page. I'm sure we'll have an event or a good video coming your way soon.
So subscribe on YouTube. That's the best way you can support us is to subscribe on YouTube. It's like subscribing to any of the podcasts, right? Subscribing on YouTube is like the strongest kind of like growth for us. So I think that if you're listening and you have not subscribed, we have way less subscribers than we have listeners. I know nobody's doing this, so please go subscribe on YouTube. It would help us out a lot. But yeah, that's all I got. Follow you guys.
Yeah, follow BrewedAt, follow the BrewedAt podcast.
Sign up for Crafted in Philly.
Sign up for Crafted in Philly. We still got we just started, so we have 2.5 months pretty much. And then if you're interested, the new BrewedAt events page, that's going to be where we're going to be posting a lot of our actual coverage of events. We're working on kind of differentiating what event coverage is looking like, what media coverage it looks like, and then what the podcast looks like. So more event stuff will be happening on the events page, and there'll be a different crowd there. So
cool. Very excited. Then you can follow me at Space Cadet Beer on all social media. I think I'm Space Cadet Brewing Company on TikTok because it wouldn't let me use Space Cadet Beer for some reason. But yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next week. And thank you, Zoka.
Thank you. Thank you. Sweet.